Hi, I'm Destiny, and before I continue, please like and subscribe. One click from you means more stories can be shared. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers and make a difference. Let's begin. Growing up, I always thought family meant loyalty and protection. I was raised by parents who emphasized kindness and honesty above all else, and I carried those values into my own family. My husband Eric and I have been married for 8 years, and our son Tyler, who's 6, is the light of our lives. Mommy, can we go to the park today? I want to try my new soccer ball. Tyler bounced on his toes at the breakfast table one Saturday morning. I smiled, pouring orange juice into his cup. After breakfast, buddy. Daddy's going to join us too once he finishes those work emails. Eric looked up from his laptop and winked at our son. 20 minutes tops, champ. Then I'm all yours. Our little family wasn't perfect, but it was happy. At least that's what I thought until my sister-in-law Vanessa entered the picture more permanently. Vanessa had always lived out of state, so our interactions were limited to holiday gatherings and the occasional FaceTime call. But when she announced she was moving to our city after her divorce, I noticed a shift in my mother-in-law Barbara's attitude. Destiny, dear, I hope you'll make Vanessa feel welcome, Barbara said during Sunday dinner at her house. She's been through so much with that awful ex-husband of hers. I nodded politely. Of course. We've already told her she can stay with us until she finds a place. Eric squeezed my hand under the table. It'll just be for a couple weeks, hun. Those couple of weeks turned into 2 months. 2 months of increasingly strange behavior from Vanessa. I made Tyler's lunch for school, Vanessa announced one morning. I paused, coffee mug midway to my lips. Oh, that's nice, but I already packed his lunch last night. She waved her hand dismissively. I saw that, but I made his favorite. Turkey sandwiches with the crusts cut off. Actually, Tyler doesn't like turkey. He's more of a peanut butter and jelly kid, I corrected her gently. Vanessa's smile tightened. Well, Eric always loved turkey as a child. It must run in the family. That was the first red flag. There were many more. Vanessa accidentally throwing away Tyler's art projects. Vanessa helpfully reorganizing my kitchen so I couldn't find anything. Vanessa telling Tyler stories about when Daddy was little and I took care of him. Don't you think it's getting weird? I whispered to Eric one night after Vanessa had spent the entire dinner talking about how she'd make a wonderful mother someday. Eric sighed. She's just lonely, Des. The divorce hit her hard. I get that, but she's acting like she wants to replace me or something. He kissed my forehead. Nobody could replace you. She'll find a place soon, I promise. One evening, I came home from work to find Vanessa taking Tyler's temperature with a concerned look on her face. What's going on? I asked, dropping my purse and rushing over. Oh, Tyler wasn't feeling well after school. I think he might have a fever, she said, not looking up. Tyler gave me a confused look. I feel fine, Mom. Aunt Vanessa said we were playing doctor. I took the thermometer from her hand. If he's sick, I need to know about it immediately, not when I walk through the door. I was handling it, she snapped. I raised Eric, you know. I know how to take care of children. You didn't raise Eric. You're his sister. I practically raised him after Mom went back to work, she insisted. Ask him yourself. Later that night, Eric confirmed it wasn't true. She helped out sometimes, but Mom was always there. I don't know why she's rewriting history. I found Vanessa in Tyler's room the next morning, going through his dresser drawers. What are you doing? I asked from the doorway. She jumped slightly. Just organizing his clothes. The way you fold them isn't very efficient. Please don't touch his things without asking me first. You know, she said, ignoring my request. Tyler told me yesterday that he wishes I was his mom sometimes. My blood ran cold. Excuse me? Oh, don't take it personally, she smiled. Kids just sometimes prefer people who really understand them. Get out of his room, now, I said through clenched teeth. 3 days later, Tyler's birthday arrived. We planned a small party at our house with a few of his friends from school. I got Tyler something special, Vanessa announced at breakfast, placing a beautifully wrapped box on the table. Tyler's eyes lit up. Can I open it now, Mom? Please? I hesitated, but nodded. Go ahead, sweetie. Inside was a homemade cookie decorating kit, complete with colorful frostings and sprinkles. Wow! Thanks, Aunt Vanessa! Tyler exclaimed. I smiled, though something felt off. That's really thoughtful, Vanessa. But remember, Tyler has a severe nut allergy. Are these nut-free? Of course they are. Vanessa looked offended. I'm not stupid, Destiny. I would never put my nephew in danger. I examined the ingredients list on the frosting containers, all store-bought and labeled nut-free. Sorry, it's just, we have to be careful. I'm his aunt. I know about his allergies, she snapped. The party went well. Tyler's friends came over, they played games in the backyard, and then it was time for cake and presents. Can we do my cookie kit now? Tyler asked after opening his other gifts. I looked at the clock. Honey, your friends are leaving soon. How about tomorrow? But Aunt Vanessa made it special for me, he pouted. Vanessa stepped in. I can help him while you say goodbye to the parents, Destiny. It'll be our special aunt-nephew time. Against my better judgment, I agreed. 20 minutes later, as the last guest was leaving, I heard a crash from the kitchen, followed by Tyler's panicked voice. Mom, I can't breathe! The world stopped. I ran to find Tyler on the floor, his face swelling, hives breaking out on his neck and arms. Vanessa stood frozen, a half-decorated cookie in her hand. His EpiPen! Eric, get his EpiPen! I screamed, dropping to my knees beside Tyler. Eric ran for the medicine while I held our son, trying to keep him calm as he wheezed and clawed at his throat. What happened? I demanded, looking up at Vanessa. I don't know, she stammered. He just took a bite and then... Eric returned with the EpiPen, and I administered it with shaking hands. Call 911, I told him. The ambulance arrived in minutes that felt like hours. As the paramedics loaded Tyler into the ambulance, I turned to Vanessa. What was in those cookies? Nothing, just what was in the kit, she insisted, but wouldn't meet my eyes. I'm going with Tyler. Eric, you follow in the car, I said, climbing into the ambulance. At the hospital, they rushed Tyler to the emergency room. Dr. Martinez, a kind-eyed man with salt and pepper hair, came to speak with us after they stabilized him. Your son had a severe anaphylactic reaction, he explained. We've given him epinephrine and antihistamines, but we need to keep him overnight for observation. Doctor, he's only ever reacted this severely to nuts, I said. But I checked the ingredients. Dr. Martinez nodded. We're running tests on the cookie sample you brought. The lab should have results soon. That night in the hospital was the longest of my life. I refused to leave Tyler's bedside, watching the monitors beep steadily as he slept. Mom? Tyler's small voice broke through my exhaustion around 2 a.m. Why did the cookies make me sick? I took his hand gently, mindful of the IV. We're not sure yet, sweetie. The doctors are finding out. Aunt Vanessa said they were special just for me, he whispered, his voice raspy from the intubation they'd briefly needed. Did I do something wrong? No, baby, I said, fighting back tears. You didn't do anything wrong. Not one thing. Eric paced the waiting room while I sat beside Tyler's bed, watching him sleep, his little chest rising and falling with each breath. The IV in his arm made him look so fragile. Mrs. Walsh? Dr. Martinez appeared in the doorway, his expression grave. Can I speak with you and your husband privately? In the hallway, he showed us the lab results. We found significant traces of almond extract and crushed peanuts in the cookie dough. Not in the frosting or sprinkles, but baked into the dough itself. That's impossible, Eric said. Vanessa knows about Tyler's allergy. I felt cold all over, unless she did it deliberately. Destiny, Eric looked shocked. She's my sister. Who else made the cookies, Eric? Who else had access to that kit before giving it to Tyler? When we returned home the next day, Tyler stable but still weak, I confronted Vanessa directly. The doctors found nuts in the cookie dough, I said, my voice deadly calm as Tyler rested upstairs. Explain that to me. Vanessa's eyes darted around the room. There must be some mistake. Maybe cross-contamination at the bakery where I bought the dough? You told me you made everything yourself, I said. So which is it? I meant I assembled the kit myself. Eric stepped forward. Vanessa, did you put nuts in Tyler's birthday cookies knowing he's allergic? Of course not, she cried, tears welling in her eyes. How could you think that? I love Tyler. Then how do you explain the test results? I demanded. I don't know. Maybe the lab made a mistake. Maybe someone tampered with the kit. I pulled out my phone. Should we call Mom and ask her about the special recipe you mentioned to her last week? The one you said would show Destiny who really knows what's best for the boys in this family? Vanessa's face went white. She told you that? No, but you just did. I'd been bluffing, but her reaction confirmed everything. Eric looked stricken. Vanessa, tell me you didn't do this. She's turning you against me. Vanessa pointed at me, her composure cracking. She's always been jealous of our relationship. I just wanted to show her that I know what's best for you and Tyler. By sending my son to the ICU? I yelled. He could have died. He was never in real danger. I only put a tiny bit in, just enough to make him sick so you'd see that you're not as perfect as you pretend to be. The room went silent. Eric stared at his sister in horror. Get out of my house. Now. Eric, you can't mean that, Vanessa pleaded. She's poisoned you against me. No, Vanessa. You poisoned my son. His voice was ice. I'm calling the police. You wouldn't dare. I'm your sister. And he's my child, Eric said, already dialing. Officer, I'd like to report an assault. What followed was a whirlwind of police statements, hospital records, and court appearances. Vanessa was charged with reckless endangerment and assault. Barbara tried to intervene, begging us to drop the charges. She's family, Barbara pleaded over coffee at our kitchen table. She made a mistake. A mistake? I echoed. She deliberately put allergens in food she gave to a child with a known severe allergy. She's been through so much with the divorce. Stop, Eric interrupted his mother. There's no excuse for what she did. None. Barbara's face hardened. You're choosing her over your own blood? I'm choosing my son, Eric replied. And if you can't understand that, then maybe you shouldn't be around him either. The day of the court hearing, Barbara approached me in the hallway outside the courtroom. This is your fault, she hissed. If you had been more welcoming to Vanessa, none of this would have happened. I stared at her in disbelief. Your daughter deliberately poisoned your grandson, and you're blaming me? She was just trying to fit in, to be part of the family. By putting my son in the hospital? I shook my head. You know what, Barbara? You and Vanessa deserve each other. In the courtroom, Vanessa's attorney tried to paint her as a victim of circumstance, a woman broken by divorce who just wanted to be loved by her family. Your Honor, he argued, my client made a terrible error in judgment, but she never intended to cause serious harm. The judge wasn't buying it. Miss Walsh, the evidence shows you deliberately introduced allergens into food for a child you knew had a severe allergy. This court cannot overlook such a reckless disregard for human life. When Vanessa took the stand, she tried one last desperate tactic. I just wanted to prove that Destiny wasn't watching Tyler carefully enough, she claimed through tears. I thought a small reaction would show everyone that she's not the perfect mother she pretends to be. And you didn't think that could kill him? The prosecutor asked. I only used a tiny amount. I researched it online. The courtroom went silent. Her own admission sealed her fate. The fallout was messy. Vanessa received a suspended sentence and mandatory psychiatric evaluation. She was ordered to stay away from our family. Barbara sided with her daughter, and we haven't spoken since. 6 months later, we heard through mutual friends that Vanessa had moved back to her hometown after losing her job here. No one wanted to hire someone with her record. Barbara sold her house to help Vanessa with legal bills, only to discover that Vanessa had been lying about her finances too. Do you ever miss them? I asked Eric one evening as we watched Tyler play in the backyard, fully recovered and as energetic as ever. I miss who I thought they were, he answered honestly. But I don't regret choosing you and Tyler. Real family protects each other. Tyler ran up to us, flushed and happy. Dad, Mom, watch this. He kicked his soccer ball in a perfect arc. Nice one, buddy. Eric high-fived him. Can we have cookies after dinner? Tyler asked. I smiled. Absolutely, the nut-free ones I baked this morning. You make the best cookies anyway, Mom, he said, running back to his game. I leaned against Eric's shoulder, watching our son play. We'd been through hell, but we'd come out stronger. Vanessa had tried to break our family, but instead had only proven what really matters: truth, trust, and protecting the ones you love. The following week, I received an envelope in the mail. Inside was a card from Vanessa. I'm sorry for what happened, it read. I was in a bad place. Please let me see Tyler again. I've changed. I showed it to Eric that night after Tyler was asleep. What do you think? He asked. I took the card and dropped it in the shredder. Some people don't deserve second chances. He nodded, pulling me into a hug. Sometimes the family you're born into isn't the family you're meant to have. We made our choice that day. Some betrayals can never be forgiven, and some relationships are better left in the past. My son's safety will always come first, no matter what. Now I wonder, what would you do if someone you trusted put your child in danger and then asked for forgiveness? Would you give them a second chance? Or do some lines, once crossed, mean there's no going back?